Sikorsky with his speech, "Boldly go where no man has gone before."
Thank you, Sergeant Owens. That's right, yeah. When you're younger, you're told, don't lick that frog, he'll get warts. Or don't make that face at your sister, he'll get stuck like that. Or one of my favorites is, don't sit too close to the TV, your eyes will turn into squares over too long of a time. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and our honored guests, only by discarding the warnings of old can we boldly go where no man has gone before. Now, it's also where any woman has not gone before, so it's more appropriate to be where no one has gone before. Think back to ancient Greek legends, where this is the story of Icarus. Now, if y'all aren't familiar with Icarus, Icarus was able to use a pair of wings. Now, he had just gotten his wings from his friend, the inventor, and what it allowed him to do is to freely explore all the different heights, mountains, rivers, woods, islands that he could ever dream of. But cautioned the inventor, don't fly too close to the sun, for I've designed these wings out of wax, and if you fly too close to the sun, you will surely heat up the wax and melt and you will die. So, not heeding the warning, Icarus was determined to fly higher, further, and for longer periods of time than ever before. And just as the inventor had foretold, the wax on his wings melted, and he plummeted to the earth in a death spiral. So this was the moral of the story. Don't fly too far. Don't go too high. Don't stray too far from home. You'll surely die. But now we know a little bit more about atmospheric pressure, and we know that as you rise, the atmosphere actually gets cooler because the air is thinner and you won't be melted by the wax. So using this new knowledge, we're able to fly further and further and further and boldly go where no one has gone before. Only by discarding the warning of Icarus can we finally fly to the moon, plant the American flag on foreign soil, and truly explore the different places in our solar system. We now send satellites by Mercury and Venus to see how they are, truly getting closer and closer to the sun and further at the same time, only by discarding those warnings. There's another similar story in the 1700s where Benjamin Franklin had discovered that electricity was the cause of thunder and lightning, and what he had done is he created lightning rods. For every house was being struck by lightning, the lightning rods would divert away the power from the fragile areas of the house to a lightning rod straight down to the ground, save a lot of houses, churches, government buildings, schools, things like that from being destroyed from lightning. And instantly, the warnings came from the older culture, not anything age-wise, saying that if you install the lightning rods, you will draw God's wrath away from the sky and into the earth, and there will be more earthquakes. We now know that plate tectonics has nothing to do with interatmospheric charges, but they didn't know that then. But by boldly going where no one has gone before and ignoring the warnings about increased earthquakes, we're able to now understand how lightning works, how to use it to power some of our electricity usage, things like that. Another story of old is the Tower of Babel from the Bible, if anyone's familiar with the Old Testament, where don't build the tower too high without the holy praise. It will surely fall and will kill everyone. And God became angry and scattered the tribes across the lands, unable to communicate with one another forever and ever. Well, by mastering engineering, structural architecture, all kinds of different techniques to master wind, gravity, spin of the earth, all kinds of different advances, the Kharafi Tower in the United Arab Emirates opened this last month, and its height is now 2,700 feet or more. So it puts the Sears Tower to shame. For all those who know, that's around 880, 900 feet. This is 2,700 feet. So this is ridiculously tall, and Only by discarding the tower building can we finally build towers that can actually hold up to the different challenges of the world. If you're familiar with the Jurassic Park movie, in 1993, Michael Crichton book, it warned us against the dangers of cloning, particularly dinosaurs and other bird-type creatures. Well, do you remember the story? If you mess with cloning and if you mess with genetic code, the dinosaurs will run free and they will terrorize and they will eat lawyers on the bathroom and cause chaos and destruction and horror. Well, yeah, if you use it correctly though, you can now find out that they can clone chickens that have anti-cancer based proteins. This is in Scotland. This happened about 2 years ago. And you can create the metaphorical goose that keeps laying the golden egg. Only by cloning and discarding the rules of Jurassic Park can you develop this new technology that allows you to harness the genetic engineering to do anti-cancer drugs. And these keep coming. This is like a factory of anti-cancer cells which can help people out. Another example is that of the Large Hadron Collider. I don't know how many of you guys know this. This is an atom smasher in Europe where very high energy particles are run in loops for miles and miles and miles. And finally, when they get fast and fast enough, they slam together. And they create new instances of energy and they allow us to see how different subatomic particles work. Now, the big scary myth was that we would create a black hole that would eventually eat the Earth and everything would be a dark abyss and we'd all be sucked into the middle of Europe because once you start the black hole, it can never be stopped. It can never be put out. It can never be ended. Well, if you discard the warnings and the fear, you can set new records for higher temperatures, get better understanding of how the universe works. Let me reiterate something. By staying on the sidelines or staying on the beach, you're never going to know how great the water is. By listening to other people's fear and tell you what you can't do, you'll never be able to figure out what you can. So, like I said, we have now looked farther and farther into the depths of the universe and how matter really is conjoined by discarding these rules of fear. Now, not everyone's going to be doing quantum physics tomorrow. I know I'm not. Not everyone's going to be building skyscrapers. Not everyone is going to be doing much lightning rods. But there are 4 steps to make a difference in your life. Simple change such as, let's go to this place instead. This is foreign territory, I don't know, but I'm going to take a chance. First of all, you have to commit. I will do this. I will do this. You have to make a conscious decision that you are not turning back. One of the good quotes is from Reverend Jesse Jackson. If my mind can conceive it and my heart can believe it, I know I can achieve it. That's commitment. Second step is to prepare. Now, it's one thing to have a very important goal to yourself, and it's another to walk in blind. Set up your steps. For example, Napoleon, the eventual king of France, spent hours and hours and hours. For every hour on the battlefield, he spent at least 2 doing charts and layouts and diagrams and troop changes and things like that. As Louis Pasteur famously said, in the fields of observation, chance favors only the prepared mind. This can also be translated as fortune favors the prepared mind. Finally, go conquer, go get it, go do it. Veni, vidi, vici, as Caesar said. I came, I saw, I conquered. Go through with it, finish it off, get it done to the end. Finish that goal, whatever it is. Finally, relive it. And this is one of the most important aspects of this entire ordeal, is to relive. Let us know how it went. What did you learn? Who can this help? How can you tell it in a story that we can all learn, we can all interpret in our own way, how we can challenge the fears in our own life? And the destiny of the world is determined less by the battles that are lost and won than by the stories it loves and believes in. That was another quote. So, fellow Toastmasters guest, I ask you to discard the warnings of old and boldly go where no one has gone before. Mr. Toastmaster.
Mr. Chandler, may I have 1 minute on the clock?